Hey guys, it's Brandon Bodylogic here at the HyperHumanHeadquarters, and today's video is about Hulk's performance issues. This is part 2 of this playlist here, so if you didn't see part 1, I suggest you go back and watch it. What we did was we started off where Thanos basically beat the Hulk, and it kind of shell-shocked him, and he refused to turn into the Hulk during the movie. So I kind of went back into the first Avengers and his stages of development psychologically and kind of approximated it to a young child. And we're picking up with Avengers Age of Ultron. So the next stage of development after Avengers is we see the Hulk, he crystallizes his role. Okay, so in Avengers Age of Ultron, we see him understanding what his role is. Just like children understand that they're the child and you're the parent and what's expected of you. So Hulk's aware of his capacities, which is primarily for destruction, and what that destruction can potentially mean. So he's trying to learn control. He's still a little shaky on it though. And, you know, like most children, you kind of have to learn on the extremes so you can come back to center. So at this point in time, you know, Hulk is either on or off. And we see this when he becomes aware of how to calm himself down and control himself with Black Widow. Now, these are very important early developmental repetitions that the Hulk needs to learn. It's the same thing with children. The biggest takeaway that Hulk learns is that he's dangerous, and there's a malevolence to him that he's trying to manage, and he's aware that Banner disapproves of it. But, you know, the Hulk can't help being what he is, so he's just doing the best he can. All right. Now, obviously, if you've seen the movie, I'm sure everything like hits the fan when Scarlet Witch gets into his mind and he goes apeshit in the city, and Tony has to go after him with the Hulkbuster armor. You know, this is actually not only Banner's worst nightmare; it's also Hulk's worst nightmare. I mean, his face after he gets stopped by the Hulkbuster, and he looks around and he realizes the devastation he's caused. It's traumatic. You know, because he's still learning, and, you know, this is a failure, and a huge one at that. You know, it wasn't like he messed up a little or he just, you know, kind of like stumbled. Like, this is a total collapse of his all the work he's been, you know, trying to put in. Now, fast forward to the end of the movie, and Hulk is in the Quinjet, and, you know, he realizes he's too dangerous, and he has the opportunity to remove the possibility of him losing control again. So he just gets in the Quinjet and he pieces out. And that is a clear sign of the Hulk being aware of his shortcomings and his failures. And, you know, just like kids do, he kind of runs away from it. All right, so now let's fast forward to Thor Ragnarok and Sakaar. Now, obviously, you know, time has passed, but we kind of know what's going on here. Hulk has found a place where people love him for who he is. You know, he's not being judged. He's a gladiator that's in a structured environment for him to be able to express himself and be who he is. He's no longer a kid with crayons coloring on the hardwood floors and white walls. He's a kid that's got a coloring book, and now he can color inside the lines. You know, this is a very constructive environment. You know, it's not only constructive, he's also adored in it. So it's technically safe here to do what he does. And typically when children have a quote-unquote safe environment, you know, learning and adaptability increases exponentially. And I believe this is probably how the Hulk was able to develop his linguistics and, you know, be able to communicate and speak somewhat. So basically, he's the man. You know, he's a god on Sakaar. You know, he's the strongest there is. And of course, he doesn't want to leave when Thor asks him to, because why would he? I mean, he's a god. But okay, you know, we know he leaves through Banner and he goes to Asgard or whatever. And we all know what happened there. So let's fast forward to Infinity War. Now, this same Hulk that's coming from Sakaar, who believes he's not only the biggest and strongest Avenger there is, he thinks and feels that this extends wherever the Hulk is, regardless. So he thinks that he is the strongest there is, bar none, until he meets Thanos. Now we've got a problem, because his entire identity, you know, everything he staked his identity on is shattered. He doesn't know who he is anymore. This is an extremely upsetting experience that, you know, can shake you to your core, but equally necessary for you to develop as a being. You know, kids need to understand and go through this, and this typically happens for kids when they hit their teens. That's why teenagers can be so difficult. You know, they have a difficult time with things. They don't know who they are or who they're supposed to be, and, you know, they're developing so rapidly that even who they thought they were changes from week to week, sometimes hour to hour. There's like a lot of fluctuations of volatility there. It's like trying to catch a fish with your bare hands. You can't get a hold on things, and that can produce a lot of anxiety and fear, and you have a loss of control. This is why a lot of teens suffer sometimes from depression, suicidal thoughts, bipolar disorder, personality disorder. In a time in their life when there's a lot of instability, there's nothing. Hulk has no backup plan, as most children and teens don't. So he's got a little PTSD going on. He doesn't want to come out. What if he's wrecked again? What if he loses? He doesn't know how to be or be anything else besides what he is. And he was just confronted with the realization that he's not who he thinks he is. And that's a very, very scary realization to have. It's a very tricky situation. I'll be really curious to see how they handle this situation in the next Avengers movie. I'm pretty sure from the clips that have been circulating online, the Hulk will be present for the movie. So, hopefully the big guy will get some help and be able to get back in the game. He should be able to realize that while he may not be the strongest Avenger or being out there, he's definitely in the club and high up in the club. So, all right, guys, that's my breakdown of the Hulk Part 2. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button and leave a comment below if you have some thoughts on how you think they're going to get the Hulk back in the game. I'll be doing more of these breakdown videos, so if you're interested, maybe think about subscribing, and you'll get notified when I drop them. Thanks for watching.